Hello, everybody. Spirit of 420 here, because everything I do is so 420, just like that. Tonight is a flick dick investigation. White Noise. You know, it was funny because I really didn't know what to expect. Let me put it that way. I didn't know what to expect when I watched this movie, but the preview made it look interesting, and it took a completely different turn than I thought. Let me just start there. First of all, hello to everybody. I hope everybody's having a beautiful, blessed day, or a blessed evening at this point. So, White Noise, Adam Driver, Don Cheadle. Funny enough, André 3000. I got to go back and watch it again because I missed him. Maybe it was just a quick in and out or something. I don't know. But what I will say is I knew it was going to be weird based on the director. And it was strange. But it felt like they had an opportunity to be like, here's the thing. It kept tipping over to dark comedy and then tipping over to surreal, existential, you know, make you think kind of movie. And to me, you can't really, I don't know. I personally feel like you need to go one way or the other. The film didn't feel like it was committed to any one direction, right? So when that happens, and I'm not saying labels, because I don't like labels. So I'm not saying, you know, you have to be this type, break the rules, right? But break the rules within the confines of the story you're delivering. So, and all I can say is I felt like it had a lot to say and missed the opportunities when to say it. You know what I mean? The acting was on par. I mean, quite frankly, I haven't seen Adam Driver in a whole lot. That he didn't, you know, act well from the first time I saw him when, which was, you know, back when he started playing Kylo Ren. But yeah, it was not a lack of acting. It was direction, and it was not even, no, I'd have to say writing. Yeah, I'd have to say writing, and I think the same guy directed it. I really don't care. After watching it, I didn't want to look anymore. I was a little disappointed. What I mean by that is, you know, made myself watch and I expected it to be more. I still didn't quite get. What's funny is I didn't think, being that it literally starred, you know, a black dude, that the white had anything to do with color of skin. But I got to tell you, it feels like it was like white people noise. And it was stupid because it was mostly white folks in Ohio in the 80s and the way that they were reacting to things. So, whatever. I just, you know, again, it's funny because there, you know, white noise is that we hear on both, you know, radio and then we see on TV when it's just, which is why it got its name, white noise, right? But I didn't understand the correlation to the name. there was parts of it that just literally didn't make sense at all. And what I mean by that is it's okay to be weird. It's okay to be out there and show us how you see the world, which is what many times a strange movie, or a movie that we feel like seems strange is really just the director or the writer showing us how they see the world, how the world looks to them, right? Which obviously each person's going to be, whatever. Each person is going to be strange unto themselves, and some people will appear stranger than others. Being that I have this whole thing with, normal being and strange being one and the same, I thought it had a real opportunity to go into more of that. And there was some places where it was like, okay, this makes sense. There were some places where this doesn't make sense, but it fits. And then there was other places where this doesn't make any sense and it doesn't fucking fit. And it literally feels like it should have been done without it. Right? I can't tell you what the movie's about other than life in 1984 after a toxic cloud scare. There you go. And we didn't know much in 84. God, it's funny now when you live in 2023 and you look back at 84 and you realize just how we were just 40 fucking years ago. Although, I will say this. Sometimes I think that's exaggerated. My guess, and you can look it up, but my guess is that the director is probably younger than me. So he was even more of a child during this time. I myself, so there were kids in the film, and the kids range from like, I don't know. I want to say the youngest one was maybe 8 or something like that, up to teenagers, like what seemed to be maybe even 16, 17-year-olds, maybe even 18 and was about to move out and go to college kind of thing. But there was 4 of them. And then they split it nice and equally. So there was 2 boys, 2 girls. And I would say that based on the context and watching it and the way the parents spoke, and this director was probably around 8 years old. That's my guess. Oops. Because it seems like it was from the mentality of the youngest kid. What I mean by that is the dialogue between the characters. I always love good dialogue. Let me give you an example of what I mean. Fargo or Coen Brothers write incredible dialogue. Not just Fargo, but you watch any of their movies, and the dialogue, like Big Lebowski, they're very good at setting the tone of the film based on the dialogue of the people and where they are, which is how they speak. And you go and watch any Coen Brothers movie, and that's very true. And I think this guy was trying to do that, but it just did not. He's not as good, number one. And, it's funny because I think maybe it won some awards or something like that. But I think the awards had those little symbols, right? But I think it was nothing more than it was opening night. So bottom line, for what I expected it to be based on the trailer, for what it was, and trying to give everybody due credit, I can't give this more than a 55. I mean, it did not pass. It was one where at the end of it, I felt like I wanted my time back. Does that make sense? That's when it's not necessarily a movie that you want to watch, period. If you feel like you wasted your time watching it and got nothing of it, trying to be true. There was probably one or two things, which is why it's not a complete, like, it's not a 30s, you know what I'm saying? It is 55. Watching it is not a complete waste of time. There's probably about 3 or 4 lines or moments, if you will, of dialogue that are really interesting. And obviously, every movie I've watched lately has parallels. This one had a lot in concerns because it had a lot to do with death and wreckage. And anybody who knows what I'm going through, you know, I'm not going to sit there and dwell on it. But, you know, right out of the gate, I'll say, okay, so there's that. And it is what it is. Either way, put it this way, it wasn't. So here's a movie that's decent. And if a movie scores in the 65s to me or over, then it usually is going to ring true on this. If I've only watched it one time and it scores more than a 65, I'm probably going to want to watch it again. Just simple facts. This, I probably won't waste my time. Whatever I got out of it today is what I'll get out of it for a lifetime, unless it sits on in the background. Make sense? So, White Noise got a 55. I today had another SSDD. Significant shit. Diverse day. Again. Not only, so let's just say it's not, it wasn't easy. Today wasn't easy. Today was the day I had to go and collect Skylar's motorcycle from the impound. So that was a pain. And then they almost lost the keys, or they almost couldn't find the keys, I should say. Which is the same thing, right? They lost them, but found them before I left. Let's just put it that way. So that was nice. But then, you know, this is the first time I've actually seen his bike since the last time he drove away. So it was a little, no, it was a lot. It was not an easy day whatsoever. And it's been one of those days. It's one of those things where when that happens, how do I say, even if you've come to terms with something and you have come to acceptance and you have moved on from it, this is one of those that takes you back in that moment like it just happened again. Now, I'm not there right now. Obviously, I'd be balling on the floor. But you know, needless to say, I was there earlier today, and it's just one of those things because it's another piece of the puzzle. It's another piece of what I hadn't seen yet. And now seeing what my son, you know, continuing to put the pieces together of what my son went through that day. So regardless, it wasn't the easiest of days. It wasn't necessarily a bad day, but it wasn't easy per se. So, but I had some good friends or a good friend helping me as well as his twin. So that made it a little bit easier to deal with. Right. So today is Wednesday, trying to get this shit right. So scatterbrained lately. I will be back on Friday, the 27th. That'll be part 5 of the Big Panda Tiny Dragon reading. You know, I was thinking if anybody thinks about it or ends up having the wherewithal to throw an idea out there, feel free to throw a book. You know, I'll check it out and see if it's one worth reading. I'm always looking for another good book, especially of this kind. What's funny is I truly believe the less you say, the more you can say it. So when you use very few words and key pictures, you can say a lot. You don't even need the pictures really, but the pictures, you know, pictures do give you 1,000 words, right? So I hope you all have a wonderful, blessed evening, a rest of your week as well. Since we are right here on Hump Day and gonna blaze on through. So what's nice is if I'm on Friday, that I know for a fact I will not be on to the following Tuesday. unless it's the middle of the month. So you know what? Let's look and make sure that I'm not fucking that up right away, because it is January. So I'm probably wrong here. Let's see. Tuesday, no. Tuesday is the 31st. Yep. Tuesday is the 31st. But funny, that week's going to be messed up because Tuesday is the 31st, Wednesday is the 1st, and then Friday is the 3rd. So I'll be on. That's funny. I'll have the same schedule next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. But this time it will be because I did it correctly. So I don't have any dabs here tonight with me. I'm in that mood. I wish I had brought them up, but that's okay. I'll just hit this bowl a couple more times and then say goodbye to you. Keep it short and sweet. That way it's not about anybody's meat. Did I say that? I did. I can tell you over the next, every season's a little bit different, right? I mean, it's a little bit the same. It's a little bit different. Some of the things that I'll be doing in the future once I have more mood on again, I think that some of y'all will really be, you'll have fun with it. You know, the whole thing is I want to start having even more fun. My friends and family know, and they're like, dude, you've yet to really let loose and truly be yourself on there. So that's what I'm trying to get to. And I'll keep saying that. And maybe one day I'll be there. Maybe I'll spend the rest of my life trying to get there, but just have fun doing it, right? Have a blessed evening. Have a blessed tomorrow. Have a blessed week. You are incredibly special and you are incredibly unique. Please know that what you say makes you different and not like everybody else is the exact things that make you so awesome and special. And that's the reality of it. So, never sell yourself short. I shouldn't say it. Let me say that again. Always believe in yourself and love yourself first, and all that other shit will happen and fall into place. That really is the key. Loving yourself is the key. Then everything else just falls into place like puzzle pieces. Have you ever been doing a puzzle and you get to the point where it's like every piece you pick up, you just right towards the ends, particularly right when there's not a whole lot of space left, a whole lot of options. But that's the way it is if you truly love yourself. There'll be still times just like that where you're like, one will stop for a little while, but not for very long. Not for very long. 3 steps back, 5 steps forward. Have a wonderful evening. Be safe. Excuse me. I don't apologize for that, but it was kind of rude, wasn't it? Hey, it's okay. I'm as authentic as I can possibly be, and people burp and belch. There's nothing you can do about that. I fart too. It's fucking disgusting. Luckily, I haven't done it while standing here yet. So hopefully we'll keep that to a no-no, right? Maybe. Who knows? See you next time. Peace.
You can't have my phone number unless we running up the digits. Let me meditate, I just need a couple minutes. Tryna low ball me, my cojones to the big ass. Bitch, I get high. I ain't looking at the clock still.
You know what? I'll run it again. I don't care. I had to come back because I forgot to say my shit. To blaze or not to blaze, there is no question. There is only to get high in order to get by. So why don't you do it until you all reach the sky? Have a wonderful evening. One last time. I just do it for the bitches. Oh, I get high.
You can't have my phone number unless we running up the digits. Let me meditate, I just need a couple minutes. Tryna low ball me, my cojones to the big ass. Bitch, I get high. I ain't looking at the clock.